So I want to make sure, number one, I preface this by saying that nothing I say in this video is any shade towards Tinashe, because first and foremost, I'm a huge fan of hers. I really want to see her succeed. What's up, guys? We're back. So welcome to another week of talks. So I want to talk about one of my favorite artists today, Tinashe. What? So for those that don't know, she just left her record label, RCA. She's been with RCA. It's been about, I think, like an 8-year relationship that they had, where she put out her last 3 albums was through RCA. So Joyride, Night Ride, as well as Aquarius, her first album. And I think what happens a lot of times with artists, especially when they're signed to a label, you are kind of at the mercy of that label as far as what you can and can't do with like your music and like your image, especially when you're first like kind of starting off. Aquarius was her first studio album, and it was her first one that kind of like went mainstream and put her in like the public eye as Tinashe. And I don't think a lot of what has been put out has been solely like her, you know, saying, yeah, I approve, this is what I want to do. Like, it's been crafted as well. It's been like kind of managed by the label. When you're fighting with, you know, your record label and fighting like with who you are and what your identity is and what you want your identity as an artist to be, and those two things can't come together, you get like this effect. You get this headbutting. She's had a bunch of different like singles that have come out. Super Love, Flame, Me So Bad. Like, all are great songs individually, but they're just kind of like these one like kind of like fillers that's just like just throwing out like, hey, song, album, you know, like track, but like it's like, okay, but what's the bigger project coming up, you know? And they don't sound, you know, like they're her. It's obviously her singing, and I feel like, you know, and she writes a lot of her own things, but it's not like her at her essence. I think where you'll find the real Tinashe, as far as her music and her artistry and what she wants to put out, I think you'll find that in her mixtapes. She has 3 mixtapes that were out before her first album even came out. She had In Case We Die, she had Reverie, and then she had Blackwater. They're consistent, they have the same kind of production kind of behind them, and they have the same kind of mood and the same kind of inflection and voice that I think is the real Tinashe. I listen to Reverie like all the time, and it's kind of like my background music like when I'm working, because it's just a vibe. Like, every song on there is just a vibe. It's just very like, it's moody, it's dreamy, but like the lyrical content is there, and her voice sounds amazing. Like, she has range. This girl has range. She can hit some notes, some runs. She can do all of that. It's just sad that like her albums aren't hitting like that, you know? And I think a lot of it has to do with promotion as well. You know, for whatever reason, she's not being promoted as well as some other artists. She had a great opportunity back in January where she did Rent Live on Fox. And Rent Live could have been a great, a great platform to show like her skill as like a performer, as like a singer and a dancer, because the girl can dance too. But what happened with that, I think she got shortchanged. A lot of the actors got shortchanged because unfortunately one of the lead characters, the man who played Roger in the live version, he broke his foot. He broke his foot the night before the actual live performance was to be done, and so they ended up showing on TV the dress rehearsal that they did the night before, and then they reblocked the last scene of the live version to show us live that night. And you could tell when watching the recorded dress rehearsal that everyone in there wasn't at their like tip top. Like, you could see people moving. You could see them moving like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna hit that spot instead of this spot. Okay, I see like I'm stumbling here, so let me just adjust that for tomorrow. You could see a lot of adjustments and a lot of mind working going on. So people weren't like completely sold into their character yet. And I think that really put Rent Live at one of those awkward positions where it's like, this could have been really great, but it never had the opportunity. And I think that she specifically lost the opportunity to really do something with that role, because it was a great role for her, but she's lost the opportunity. I'm actually very happy for her that she has left RCA. She made it very clear that, you know, this wasn't a, you know, I got dropped situation. This is, I'm choosing to leave this situation. She put a video on Instagram. She was like, you know, like, boom, like, I'm free. I'm here for it. I'm here for Tinashe. I love her to death. I love her style, actually. Not to compare her to anybody, but like, it gives me like kind of like a new age, like Aaliyah feel. Like she's very like kind of tomboyish. She loves to kind of dress like in like kind of like athletic gear, like baggy pants, but like, you know, very fitted feminine tops, hair, makeup, the dancing. She has something there, and I really want that star quality to kind of burst forth and be born. So Tinashe, I'm rooting for you, and you know, if you want a stylist too, hit me up, because I mean, I have some looks. But for real, I love Tinashe. I love everything she's doing. I wish her the best of luck, and yeah, I hope that everything turns out really great. So this week's book, guys, is another one of my favorite artists of all time, Prince. This is called Prince, A Private View, and it is written by Afshin Shahidi. If the last name Shahidi sounds familiar to you, it's because Mr. Afshin Shahidi is the father of one Yara Shahidi, the star of Blackish and Grownish. He was Prince's personal road photographer for a number of years, from the late 90s all the way up until his death, unfortunately. The pictures in this book are amazing. Like, look at this cover image, first of all. The cover itself is great. And then if you just scroll through, like, you know, this is one of the images that's in the book. And there's so many others. So many other like dope images in here, and it's just kind of chronicling, you know, you know, the journey that he took while photographing Prince. And it has, you know, written text from him, you know, talking about different memories he has from different photos and from different photo sessions that he did. And the work in here is just great, y'all. It's just great. So that's the book that I am reading currently, and I will leave the link to that below as well, so you all can check that out if you want. So, as always, guys, thank you for joining me on TAWKs, and I'll see y'all next week. See you later.